For most of us, bread is comfort. It's the warm slice with butter, the familiar toast with coffee, a soft bite that starts the day. But after 60, what if that simple habit is quietly accelerating joint pain, fogging your memory, and throwing your blood sugar into chaos before you've even finished breakfast? Welcome to Live Healthy After 50, where East meets West to uncover real science-backed habits that support healthy aging and over 60 wellness. Today's episode shines a light on something we've trusted for decades: bread. But not all bread is created equal, and not all of it is safe for senior health. You might think you're making smart choices picking multigrain, choosing gluten-free, or avoiding white bread altogether. But what if I told you some of those so-called healthy loaves are actually worse for aging bodies than the ones you left behind? To unpack this, we're joined by someone whose wisdom stretches over a century, Japan's oldest practicing doctor, Dr. Shiaki Hinohara, still walking every day, still sharper than ever. And today he's breaking down which breads silently sabotage your body and which ones can truly support your energy, memory, and mobility after 60. If you're someone who still believes bread is harmless, this episode might change how you see your morning meal. Before we dive in, do us a small favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments what type of bread do you eat most often. You might be surprised at what you learn next. Now let's turn the page and take a fresh look at the most misunderstood food on your plate. The silent saboteur, white bread. There's a reason so many seniors feel that afternoon slump. You know, the one your eyes get heavy, your knees start to ache, and your memory feels just a little slower than it did in the morning. It's tempting to blame it on aging. But what if the real cause is something you ate hours earlier? For millions of older adults, the problem starts with breakfast, and more specifically with the most common staple on the table, white bread. White bread looks innocent. It's soft, it's easy to chew, and it's often sold as enriched or fortified. That sounds like a good thing. But in reality, white bread is one of the biggest threats to senior health and one of the least understood. When you eat white bread, especially first thing in the morning, it hits your bloodstream fast. That's because it's made from refined flour, stripped of fiber, stripped of nutrients, and designed to digest quickly. Your body responds with a sharp spike in blood sugar, and what goes up must come down. That crash can leave you feeling foggy, tired, and sore. Over time, repeated spikes like this don't just drain your energy. They increase inflammation in your joints, they age your brain, and they raise your risk for conditions like type 2 diabetes, memory decline, and cardiovascular issues, the very things we try to avoid as we get older. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging followed more than 2,000 adults over 60 for 5 years. Those who ate refined grains daily, especially white bread, had faster rates of cognitive decline and a higher chance of developing pre-diabetic symptoms. That means even if you don't feel it now, the damage may already be underway. And here's the tricky part. Many seniors think they're doing just fine with white bread because it doesn't cause immediate pain. But aging changes how our bodies respond to food. What felt light and easy at 40 might be silently harmful at 70. Take Mrs. Clara Jenkins from Cedar Rapids. She's 74. No major illnesses, walks her dog every morning, and keeps a tidy garden. But for years, she complained about afternoon fatigue and aching knees. She assumed it was just part of aging. Then during a visit to a wellness clinic, she casually mentioned that she started each day with 2 slices of toast. The doctor suggested a simple change. Swap the white toast for a slice of sprouted grain bread with almond butter. Within a week, Clara noticed she didn't crash by noon. 2 weeks in, she said her knees felt more stable and her thoughts were clearer. No new medications, just a different kind of bread. That's how powerful these small changes can be, and it's not a fluke. Dr. Hinohara, who has treated patients well into their 90s and 100s, puts it like this: white bread is sugar in disguise. It doesn't taste sweet, but it behaves the same way inside the body. It spikes insulin, it drives inflammation, and it slowly wears down the systems that keep us strong. This is why senior nutrition guides now recommend limiting refined grains, not because of calories or carbs alone, but because of how they influence blood sugar, brain health, and inflammation. So what should you do if white bread is a daily habit, especially first thing in the morning? Consider this your wake-up call. You don't have to give up bread completely, but you do need to choose smarter. Every slice you eat after 60 should work for your health, not against it. In the next section, we'll look at another bread that sounds healthy, but can be just as misleading as white bread, and what to watch for on the label. Stay with us. Sourdough, the deceptive trap multigrain bread. It's the kind of bread that makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. You see seeds on top, a darker crust, maybe the word natural or whole on the label. It feels hearty, wholesome. And for many older adults trying to make better choices, it seems like the smart alternative to white bread. But the truth is, multigrain bread is one of the most misleading products in the grocery store. And if you're not careful, it could be setting you back even while you think you're moving forward. That's because multigrain doesn't mean whole grain. It doesn't even mean healthy. It just means more than one grain was used. And in most cases, those grains are still heavily refined. They've been stripped of fiber, stripped of nutrients, just like white bread. Some companies go a step further. They darken the dough with caramel coloring to make it look more natural. They sprinkle a few seeds on top for visual appeal. They add sugar or molasses to boost the taste. But at the core, it's often just processed white flour in disguise. And here's where the damage begins. For seniors, digestion slows with age. Blood sugar control becomes more fragile. What we eat in our 60s and beyond impacts how clearly we think, how well we sleep, how mobile we stay. That's why misleading products like this are so dangerous. They rob you of progress without ever raising a red flag. Let me tell you about Edna, a retired nurse in Colorado, 68 years old. For years, she thought she was eating well. Her breakfast always included a slice of multigrain toast, maybe with a bit of jam or peanut butter. But she kept noticing bloating. Her fingers felt stiff by late morning. Her energy would dip before lunch. Her doctor ran some tests, no major issues, but her fasting blood sugar was creeping up. That's when a nutritionist looked at her diet and flagged that bread. Turns out it wasn't whole grain. The first ingredient was enriched wheat flour. There were 8 more ingredients she couldn't pronounce. It looked rustic. It felt hearty. But inside it acted just like white bread. They swapped it for a true whole grain option, 100% whole sprouted wheat, no additives. Within 2 weeks, her bloating reduced. Her blood sugar stabilized. And she said her thinking felt clearer. Not because of a pill, because of a label. This is the kind of small change that supports natural health for seniors. It's the kind of habit that builds long-term strength instead of slowly wearing the body down. So how can you tell the difference? Turn the package over, read the ingredient list. If the first word isn't 100% whole followed by a recognizable grain, like wheat oats or rye, put it back. If it contains caramel coloring, added sweeteners, or long chemical names, it's not helping your body age gracefully. It's just pretending to. The marketing may say multigrain, but your cells don't read marketing. They read molecules, and they respond in kind with inflammation or with healing. A recent study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed true whole grains had better metabolic markers, lower waist circumference, and improved insulin sensitivity compared to those who ate refined or pseudo-whole products. That's not a trend. That's science. Multigrain bread isn't always bad, but unless it's made from real whole ingredients, it's a trap. One that too many well-meaning people fall into. And for seniors trying to protect their independence, energy, and clarity, every ingredient counts. In the next section, we'll look at a rising trend that sounds even healthier, gluten-free bread, and why it may be doing more harm than good. Sourdough 3, the gluten-free illusion. It sounds like a smart move. You see gluten-free on a package and think finally something better for digestion. Something safe, something clean. But for millions of older adults, gluten-free bread has become a health trap disguised as a health trend. Unless you've been diagnosed with celiac disease or a true gluten sensitivity, most gluten-free breads aren't helping your body. In fact, they may be quietly making things worse. Here's why. Most commercial gluten-free breads are not made from whole grains. They're made from ultra-refined starches like tapioca corn, white rice, or potato. These ingredients are stripped of fiber and nutrients. They digest fast, and they hit your blood sugar even harder than white bread. That spike triggers insulin, and when your insulin levels rise and crash repeatedly, it leads to resistance. Over time, insulin resistance becomes one of the biggest threats to healthy aging. It's the root of fatigue, of brain fog, of unexpected weight gain. It raises your risk for type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and early memory decline. Many seniors switch to gluten-free thinking they're being careful. But the body doesn't care about the label. It responds to what's inside. A bread made from starch and gums and preservatives is still processed food, even if it's gluten-free. A 2021 study published in Nutrients tracked older adults who regularly consume processed gluten-free products. The findings were clear. Compared to those eating whole-grain breads, the gluten-free group had higher levels of inflammation, more insulin resistance, and poorer glucose control. That's not just about digestion. That's about your energy, your focus, your long-term independence. Dr. Ellis, a geriatric specialist in Florida, says it this way: gluten-free is not a health benefit. It's a medical necessity for some and a marketing tool for everyone else. Mark Alvarez, a 69-year-old retiree from New Mexico, learned this the hard way. He started buying gluten-free sandwich bread thinking it would help with bloating and sluggishness. Within 3 weeks, he noticed something odd. His energy was worse. His pants fit tighter. His blood sugar numbers, which had been stable, started creeping up. When he finally looked at the ingredient list, he was stunned. Cornstarch, sugar, xanthan gum, rice flour, not a single whole grain, not a gram of fiber. And he realized he hadn't upgraded his diet. He had just changed the packaging. Once Mark switched to a real whole grain option, sprouted wheat or fermented sourdough, his energy began to return. His bloating eased, and within 2 months his blood sugar was back in range. This is why doctor tips for older adults always come back to one principle. Read the ingredients, not the marketing. If the bread contains more than 6 or 7 ingredients, especially if you can't pronounce them, it's likely too processed. If the first few ingredients are starches, it won't support your metabolism. If it promises to be soft and chewy, but stays fresh for weeks on the shelf, your body won't recognize it as food. Real food doesn't need a label to prove it. It spoils. It lives in the fridge. It has texture and substance. There are healthy gluten-free breads out there, ones made with sprouted millet buckwheat or brown rice. But they are rare. You'll usually find them in specialty health stores or have to bake them at home. They cost more. They take effort. But your body after 60 deserves better than shortcuts. Healthy aging isn't about chasing fads. It's about understanding what your body truly needs. And when it comes to bread, that means choosing ingredients that fuel you, not fight you. In the next part, we'll reveal the most comforting and dangerous bread of all, and why it might be the reason your sleep mood and joints have been getting worse. Number 4, the sugary breakfast mistake, sweetbreads. There's something about the smell of banana bread warming in the oven, or a soft slice of raisin toast with a little butter melting into the edges. Cinnamon rolls on a Sunday morning. These aren't just foods, they're memories. But after 60, the body doesn't process memories, it processes sugar. And these nostalgic breakfasts, as comforting as they seem, may be setting the stage for exhaustion, inflammation, and long-term health decline. Sweetbreads are one of the most metabolically harmful ways to start your day. That's because they combine all the wrong things: refined flour, added sugar, seed oils, preservatives, and they hit your system hard. Fast carbs, no fiber, zero balance. Your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. Insulin floods your body, then falls off. And what you feel in the hours that follow is not just hunger, it's fatigue, irritability, brain fog, aches in your joints, maybe even sadness without knowing why. A landmark Harvard study published in 2020 found that older adults who began their day with refined carbohydrates, including sweetbreads, had a 32% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome within just 5 years. That means more belly fat, higher blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, all risks that quietly push your body toward chronic illness. And it often starts with just one choice, the first bite of the morning. Susan, 67, from Asheville, used to start her day with a slice of cinnamon raisin toast and coffee. She said it made her feel good, warm, full, even a little happier. But by mid-morning, she would feel sluggish. By afternoon, her knees ached. She blamed her age. But what she didn't see was the hidden roller coaster playing out inside her metabolism. A nutritionist helped her swap the cinnamon bread for a slice of sprouted grain toast with avocado. In just 2 weeks, she wasn't crashing anymore. Her knees felt better. And for the first time in years, she said her thoughts stayed sharp past noon. That's how fast the body can respond when you shift your daily habits for longevity, starting with breakfast. The truth is, your first meal is more than just fuel. It's a signal. If your first bite is sugar and starch, your body spends the rest of the day chasing balance. That means cravings, blood sugar swings, hormonal disruption, poor sleep. If your first bite is slow-digesting, fiber-rich, and nutrient-dense, your body feels grounded. Calm, steady. This is one of the simplest but most powerful shifts you can make for senior health. Not by eliminating everything you love, but by saving sweet breads for rare occasions, not routine ones. Because after 60, every breakfast is either supporting your longevity or slowly working against it. Sweet breads are delicious. That part doesn't change. But the cost is higher now. Not just on your waistline, but on your energy, your clarity, your ability to live the way you want, strong, sharp, and independent. This is not about guilt, it's about wisdom. It's about realizing that food is not just comfort, it's communication. And the better we listen, the better we age. In the next part, we'll shift the focus. You've seen what to avoid. Now let's talk about the breads that can actually protect your health, the ones that nourish your strength, your memory, and your future. Number 5, the right breads for life after 60, the supportive 4. Not all bread is the enemy. In fact, the right kinds of bread, when chosen wisely, can actually support your energy, protect your memory, and help reduce inflammation as you age. After 60, your body craves steadiness, and the best breads do just that. They give you stable fuel, keep your gut happy, and support the systems that keep you independent. Let's look at 4 types of bread that truly align with the principles of natural health for seniors. These aren't trends. They're time-tested choices backed by real nutrition science and recommended by top physicians who understand what aging bodies actually need. 1. Sprouted grain bread. This one tops the list for good reason. Sprouted grain bread, like the kind made by Ezekiel, is crafted from whole grains that have been soaked and sprouted before baking. That simple step unlocks nutrients that are normally trapped in the grain's shell. Sprouting increases the availability of vitamins B and C, improves amino acid profiles, and reduces compounds that block mineral absorption. The result is a bread that's easier to digest, gentler on aging stomachs, and more supportive of brain clarity. It digests more slowly, so it doesn't cause the energy crashes or blood sugar spikes seen with refined grains. For anyone looking to reduce inflammation and support long-term mobility, this is a smart place to start. 2. Traditional sourdough. What makes real sourdough so powerful isn't the taste, though. That's a bonus, it's the process. Traditional sourdough is fermented slowly using natural bacteria and wild yeast. That fermentation breaks down part of the gluten, reduces phytic acid, and creates beneficial compounds that support gut health. As you age, your body becomes more sensitive to how food is absorbed. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that seniors who ate traditional sourdough had better post-meal blood sugar levels and improved mineral absorption, especially for magnesium and zinc, which are crucial for joint function and cognitive health. It's not just about avoiding discomfort. It's about creating a foundation for long-term strength and mental sharpness, one slice at a time. 3. Dense whole rye bread. Real rye bread, the kind that's dark-seeded and dense, is often overlooked in the American diet. But in countries like Finland, Denmark, and Germany, it's a staple. And for good reason. Rye contains a unique fiber called arabinoxalan. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut and helps slow carbohydrate absorption. That means better blood sugar control and a healthier microbiome. Both are essential pillars in any senior nutrition guide. A 2021 study in the Journal of Internal Medicine showed that older adults who consumed whole rye regularly had lower markers of inflammation and improved insulin sensitivity. Just be sure to check labels. Many commercial rye loaves sold in stores are made with a mix of white flour and sugar. You want whole rye flour listed first with minimal additives. If it feels heavy in your hand, that's usually a good sign. 4. Whole grain rice bread. For those who need or prefer to go gluten-free, rice bread can be a gentle, nourishing option if it's made from whole brown or black rice. Unlike most gluten-free alternatives, which are full of starches and binders, rice bread made from a single whole grain is far less likely to disrupt your metabolism. It also contains resistant starch, a rare type of carbohydrate that doesn't spike blood sugar, but instead feeds your gut's good bacteria. That's essential for immune health, digestion, and stable mood, all parts of the bigger picture of longevity secrets. In Japanese homes, rice isn't just a side dish, it's a foundation. And when used to make simple whole grain bread, it offers something many seniors are missing: calm, steady energy that doesn't burden the system. Every one of these breads has earned its place by supporting the unique needs of the aging body. They're not flashy, but they're trustworthy. And at this stage in life, that's what matters. These choices aren't about perfection, they're about progress. Choosing bread that fuels your body instead of fighting it is one of the most overlooked but powerful decisions you can make. It's not just about what you avoid, it's what you invite back into your kitchen. Steady energy, clear thinking, better digestion, fewer crashes, and a deeper feeling of control. These are your longevity secrets hiding in plain sight right on your plate. As we get older, the foods we once took for granted start to matter more than ever. After 60, every bite is a choice, not just about what tastes good, but about what helps you stay strong, clear-minded, and independent. Bread isn't the villain, but some breads can quietly chip away at your energy, your memory, and your joint health, and others can help you age with confidence. Your first meal sets the tone. It's not just breakfast, it's a message to your body. Choose wisely, and that message becomes one of balanced strength and steady energy. Sprouted, fermented, whole grain. These aren't trends, they're longevity tools, small shifts that support your journey toward over 60 wellness and help you live healthy after 50. If this video opened your eyes to something new, tell us in the comments, what bread are you saying goodbye to and what are you bringing in its place? And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Your health is your greatest wealth.